What is up, Marvel Universe, Marvel fans out there, slash DC fans as well, all that good stuff. I am doing a live video from my house tonight at midnight. I don't care, why not? So today, what I do, hung out, and I went to go see Marvel's Avengers in Infinity War for the second time, which is a surprise because I usually don't see two movies at once. I usually just see one movie, which is that's it. I usually don't go and see another movie, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna go see this second movie for the hell of it. Like, okay, now, basically, people who have not seen it and have seen it, please go see it. Like I said, it's a good movie, a lot of action. I always say to the end of the film, I watched the second time when I went to see it today. I thought it was real. Again, I thought it was good. I saw it the first time. I was shocked about a few things and surprised. Not surprised really, but I was like, oh my god, this has happened. This and this person's in here, and this happens. So whatever. And it's like, oh, holy crap, that was awesome. It was a good, intense movie, very surprising, and I'm just curious. They got the next movie coming out next year, and see how that plays out. I think I already know how it's gonna really go. So I'm not really gonna say anything to anybody because people might get pissed about it, but that's sad. I mean, go and see it, you'll find out for yourselves. But I think now where Marvel's taken it to the next level, I think it's great. I mean, I think the Russo brothers did an excellent job producing it, directing it, all that stuff. I didn't think they messed it up at all. I think they did, a really good film of it now. I don't think they did anything wrong with it. I think they just made it spectacular the way it is now, and how they, had people do the special effects and all this stuff, and everything. It worked out really good. I mean, I got nothing wrong with that. So, I had a few thoughts about it. I mean, I looked at it as, okay, this is going to be another really interesting and exciting Marvel film with the trailers that they came out with, everything for it, and all that stuff. I thought it was going to be really, really good. I mean, it was. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a great film no matter what. You couldn't go wrong with it. I mean, anybody would it. I wouldn't. I mean, I thought it's just very interesting. I'm not saying it wasn't, but people who like that stuff are going to actually love it, and I would too. And as a fan of Marvel and, DC, it's just like, you'd be amazed what Marvel comes out, because Marvel's got more of a storyline than DC did with anything. DC movies with anything. Marvel's pretty much based every movie from Iron Man to Captain America to Civil War to Thor to, Black Panther to Infinity War now. I mean, they've basically have done all this great storylines and films and based it on what they have with the characters, and I think they've done an excellent job with that. Now with going to DC now, DC is a little different from what Marvel's basically based on. I mean, they're totally different characters and movie base of what they do. I mean, DC is great. I love DC. I got nothing against it, but the storylines are so different from what they're supposed to be when you want to see a movie. I mean, they base certain things from how Justice League was played out to how it's going to play the next part, part 2, and all that, so forth. But, I mean, like I said, they did pretty well at Wonder Woman. I give them props for that. Aquaman should be a huge hit when that comes out. Like I said, I know they're going to do a Batman movie, and they're going to do another Man of Steel, supposedly. The questions I have the most is, who the hell is going to play the Green Lantern? Who's going to be John Jones? Who's going to be Green Arrow? I mean, you got all these basic characters that are a big part of the movie, and you want them in that movie. I mean, you got so many good actors now, but, I mean, who's going to play who? I mean, is it going to be a Hulk Girl? Is it going to be a Hawk guy? I mean, it's going to be all that stuff. Hopefully there is. I mean, it's all these characters they need to put in this film, which they should. I mean, I don't think if they don't do that, that'd be the stupidest effed up thing they ever do. If they don't put those characters in that movie, it's going to be a damn bust. I mean, you cannot put characters that are not going to make the film great. You want good actors that make the film great deal of money, make it a great success, and be a really talked about movie. But you don't want a movie that's going to suck and not be great and say, okay, this is not something I want to be a part of, and I don't think this is going to be crap. No, I want to see a good movie like they did with Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad was good, and Wonder Woman was good. Like I said, all that was great. You need a really decent storyline with DC, and DC has not been on the game with that lately. I mean, they've done pretty well with Justice League. I give now that kind of a basic storyline from Man of Steel, and from Man of Steel to Dawn of Justice, Batman vs Superman, how they play that out. That was great. It's just I'm more curious of how they're gonna make it interesting. How they're gonna make it okay. How fans gonna react to who's gonna play who. Who's gonna play Green Lantern? Who's gonna play the Black Green Lantern? The dude that they got a Shazam movie coming out. They got all that done. It's just you have to wonder: is these films gonna be a success? Will it be a great film to see? And I have no doubt it's gonna be a really great success of a film. But I'm just curious as a fan. It's like, you have questions, but you have more of a concern to where will any other DC movies they come out with, it's going to be good, or it's going to be a total bust. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a bust, but depends on what kind of characters they get for, any type of movie they come out with next year and whatever. I said Marvel's got more of a decent storyline than DC does at this point because they got, Deadpool coming out today. They got, the Venom that they worked on. I mean, they got all these good films that coming out with, which is great. I'm not saying it's going to be total crap, but I think it's going to be good. And I guess somebody told me about Avengers X, something with X-Men supposedly joining together and Marvel versus DC. I mean, I'll look into that and get back to fans about that, but there's a lot of this. I have concerns with it. More with DC or Marvel, I have no concerns at all with it, but you just wonder, okay, how is it going to be an exact great and phenomenal film if DC doesn't produce correctly and make it great? But I think now they might do good. I mean, hopefully they do great. I'm not saying it's not gonna be awesome, but it should be. I have no doubts with that. So I mean, that's all good and all, well and good and all. So that's good with that. Let's go back to Marvel now. Marvel, great series. I know if anyone haven't watched Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., please watch that because that pretty much goes with a little bit of gets a little bit into Avengers, I would assume, of course, because that's Avengers there and whatnot. So that's good. I know ABC is doing a Cloak and Dagger. If no one's ever heard of that, they it's Spider-Man and all his friends who team up and they come across these people one can teleport, one can stab you with a little glowing knife and all that. That's pretty cool. I recommend checking that out. So like I said, I think with Marvel basically doing the greatest job they can do, which is blowing everybody's minds, and DC making it going up there. I mean, Marvel's always been the best and always will be the greatest franchise out there of movies, along with DC as well. But Marvel's got a better and greater storyline than DC does. What the hell? I mean, you got more of a storyline with Marvel. You get it. You follow the movies step by step by step, and you understand those films. But with DC, there's really not much of a decent storyline with that crap because there's not much there. Yeah, they come out with older good films, like I mentioned. You just gotta come up with something really exciting for the fans. You don't want to blow it and say, okay, what the are we thinking? Because this is not gonna work. You want to make it exciting. You want to make it great. You want to make it phenomenal. Make it exciting. Maybe in part 2 you get some new characters. You introduce new people into the film. You'd be surprised. You'd be shocked. I mean, the end of Justice League, I was very shocked at the end of that. I mean, that was pretty decent. It was a pretty good scene. Now, who's going to play those villains? It's going to be anti-justice like they had in the cartoons. I would suggest basically base that from the cartoons. Use the cartoons as an example of put that into the movie. Get those characters from that, storyline. Put them in the film. That would be great. That would make it really, really good. Same thing with if they do a Young Justice or Teen Titan movies or whatever. Use that. Use those examples and think about what you can produce with those films and how you can do it for DC and make it great. I want to be excited about that. I don't want to be pissed off and disappointed and give a really crappy review. I want to make it exciting. I want to talk about it. I want to make it enjoyable for people who want to watch these films. I'm like, okay, this is great. He knew what this person was talking about. He got it, and he explained it perfectly the best way he can. But the way I see it is, how can you not make a film of a superhero franchise for the near future to make it awesome? You cannot make it shit. You cannot F this up, because if they do that, it's not going to be great. I don't think they will, but if they ever did, it would be the worst decision of their life, and they would be a total crap show, to be honest. I mean, I still think they should have used, if they used Stephen Amell from the TV series Arrow, which they probably won't, or Supergirl, they have that. I mean, they already come with some decent characters as it is, as far as I know. I haven't really watched the new seasons of Arrow or Flash or Legends of Tomorrow yet, but again, I would base those characters kind of with the film. But like I said, they should have used the TV characters from that in the movies, but they didn't. They want to use new faces, they want to use other. Okay, that's fine, but use it for something else. I mean, come on, they have to be creative, and they're not. I mean, I'm not dissing DC films. I like them all and all that, but you can't F it up. You cannot screw this up. And I'm not saying anyone's going to, but I really think DC needs to pick it up, because if they don't, it's going to be a total disaster, and Marvel's going to whoop their butts instantly, because to me, I think they already have. Marvel's making all these really good films. I mean, it's hard to choose Marvel between DC. It's hard. You cannot choose. You can never choose between two different characters, or two different shows, or two different series, or movies, or whatever. You have to make it interesting. And that's just my opinion. And I'm not saying it's going to be really, a bad contact of film or creativity at all. I just think it has to be really, really good. And I don't want it seen going to waste because of what happens. I don't want to talk about a film and look at it and watch it. Okay, this is great, but what the hell? I mean, it has to be good. Just like what Marvel's doing with a bunch of other films, and DC as well. I think it's going to be a really interesting franchise. How are they going to pick it up? How are they going to make it better? How are they going to compete with all this stuff? If they are competing or not, who knows? But I suggest just, with DC and all that, I have no doubt. And Marvel at all, they're going to be great. I'm not concerned about that at all. But DC, I'm going to, put my foot down. They really need to pick it up. And I think they will with Aquaman and, Wonder Woman 2 and all that. And Batman movie and whatever they're going to do with that. And, all that good stuff. But it has to be really good. It has to blow people's minds away. It has to be exciting. You need thrills. You don't want any spoilers or none of that. It has to be good. And if it's not good, what's the freaking use? You're gonna make everybody disappointed and sad, and what the fuck were they thinking? How did they F all this up so quickly? But that's on them. You want to make it exciting. You want to make the franchise great. You want to make it the most hooked about out there as it is now, and wherever it will be. I mean, Infinity Wars is blown off the charts. You got Deadpool out already. It's like, come on, it's not really, I wouldn't say competition, but I think it's gonna be a really great success here. As a fan of the franchises and everything, of TV series and shows and all this cool stuff, you want to make fans for younger generations to come, and people who do or do not know about it, and how you want to just be amazed at how many great films these people can come up with. The actors, the CGIs, the choreograph this and the stunts and all this stuff. And in my opinion, I think that's so good and all, but like I said, for the generations to come, you want to be proud to be a fan of superhero movies. You want to be really excited about all this stuff, and I am, as long as I've got into this stuff and obsessed with it, the cartoons and all that classic stuff, and I really think it's going to be a really, good year for all that stuff, so I'm happy for it. I look forward to it, and, I'll come back on and do another live video, maybe tomorrow or the next day, but if I just come on here and just give a review about some few things, people can leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel, do whatever you want. So if you have any questions, please leave your comments, and I'll do my best to answer them as best I can. So, well, this has been Marvel Talk / DC as well, as I mentioned. And this is Mr. Marvel signing out for now. Until tomorrow, I thank you, and good night.